everybody, this is Extractor here. I was over visiting our friends over at Guns Galore and he showed me this, so now I'm going to show it to you. It's a Kimber K6s revolver. This particular one is the DC model, which stands for deep cover, and it's got a black DLC finish, and it's got a 2-inch barrel. Now these do come in a number of different variations. They've got them with a 3-inch barrel, they've got them with a stainless steel body, visible stainless steel. Now this one is stainless steel underneath the DLC, but it's all black and it looks like a blued gun. They've got them in a 2-tone, they've got them with laser grips, so they come in a number of variations. But this one here is actually kind of a really nice looking gun, and it's a very nice looking unloaded gun. This particular one has an MSRP of around $11.55, but I've seen it for in the $1,000 territory. So being a Kimber, you wouldn't expect it to be inexpensive, but it's a very well done gun, and you are to some extent getting your $1,000 worth. So you got these really cool G10 grips with finger grooves. Now one thing I did notice about these grips, they're real nice, they're easy to get a hold of, but you've got an exposed back strap, and it is serrated, so at least you're going to be able to keep a good grip on it. But the problem with that is it does give you a healthy smack right here. So when you've got your hand up there and you're shooting .357 Magnum, you notice it right in here. There's no padding whatsoever with these grips. Now you could swap the grips out fairly easily, but these are really nice looking grips. It'd be something you probably wouldn't be so inclined to do. The sights on it are 3-dot tritium night sights. They're actually very nice sights, especially for one of these smaller pocket, get off me size revolvers. They are easy to see during the day with the white ring around them, and they glow quite nice for night. Being tritium, they're going to glow all the time. You don't have to charge them. It's got a bit of a gutter up front, and it's kind of matte finish, so it won't glare. Overall, it's designed to be able to shoot well, even at a little bit bigger distance. Now this particular variation is a hammerless. Now of course there is a hammer, it's a hidden hammer. So it makes it a DA gun. There are a couple variations of this that are DASA with an exposed hammer you can cock back or pull the trigger on. One thing I noticed on this, the trigger on this is very, very smooth. It's around the 10-pound territory, but it doesn't stack at all and it pulls back very smoothly. So probably tired of me talking about the trigger, you want me to actually show you the trigger. Now this particular gun can be dry fired, but we do have a policy of not dry firing a gun we don't own. So I have these snap caps or inert dummy rounds, and this will protect the firing pin. It's not particularly necessary on the Kimber and most of these newer model revolvers, but some owners are really picky about that, so we respect the owners and don't dry fire. Make sure I've got a snap cap in there. So I'll go ahead and pull the trigger. Minimal take-up, almost non-existent take-up, and you're on the wall, and it's a smooth run all the way back till it breaks all the way at the back. It's a crisp break when it does break, and then of course it's a DA, so the resets all the way out. It's a really nice trigger overall, and didn't find the trigger, other than the length of it, which is typical of any of these DA triggers, didn't find the trigger to make it difficult to shoot well. We did find that with the setup of this grip, even though it's a nice comfortable grip, kind of made it where you had to work a little bit to pull a grip with this. It was fairly easy to get thrown off. With the small grip, you only got 2 fingers on it, and that longer, heavyish trigger, by the time you get all the way to the back, you had a little tendency for your hand to turn. But if you focus with this, practice with this, focused with this particular gun, you'd be able to do quite well. Let's talk about the dimensions of it. It's 6.62 inches front to back, it's 4.46 inches tall, and it's 1.39 inches thick. Now revolvers are typically thicker because you do have the round cylinder. This one has slightly flatted edges on the cylinders, but you're going to get a little bit of thickness with a revolver. Now this particular one is used, and Guns Galore let me borrow it to do the video. One thing I did notice with this, it was in the box in this holster. And that tells me the guy's been carrying it. Whoever owned it and traded it in has been carrying it. And they've been carrying it in this leather holster. And you wouldn't know it looking at the gun. There's no holster wear whatsoever. So if you're curious about whether or not the finish is durable, this holster and him carrying it, and the holster shows kind of somewhere, so you know that it's been carried at least to some extent. And the finish on this gun is cherry. If I had gotten the gun without having known about the holster, I wouldn't have known it had been carried. It does have a full lug, which of course on a shorter barrel is not a whole big difference. Everything on this gun operates smoothly. From the release, a little bit of serration so your finger or thumb doesn't slip off it. The extractor is very smooth. And get those snap caps out of there. It's just well finished. You look at the other side, and we've got a fingerprint here, but the finish is really smooth. And then, of course, it's got the 357 Magnum chambering. And I'm not sure if I mentioned the chambering early on. It holds 6 rounds of either 357 Magnum or 38 Special. Now, the ejector does work well. These snap caps often don't fully fit the standard, so I'll have to pop them out. That's not a defect in the ejector. When we were shooting at the range with either 357 or 38, they came out without any bit of a problem. See if I can tap them out. If not, I'll pop them out later. But the extractor does work perfectly on it with real ammo, not these snap caps. The sights on it are dovetailed at the rear, so if you don't like these night sights, or if you happen to choose the one without night sights and you want to swap them out, and the front is, we've got a roll pin. So you can easily swap the sights out. I'm going to take a second here and get these snap caps out here because they've moved a little bit so I can close it. They've hung up on the ejector, so it took me a second to pop them out of there. Again, that's not a defect in the design of the gun, that's just snap caps being out of spec. So overall, it's a well done gun. Everything on it operates smoothly. Even when you look at the gap here, where it goes from the back strap into the grip, look at it from the side, it's just, the dimensions and the gaps are perfect. So it's just a well done gun. It wasn't as easy to shoot as some of the others that we took to the range. We're going to do another video with this with an SP-101 and a Cobra, and we found them a little bit easier to shoot well. But if you were to spend some time with it, get focused in with the ergonomics of this particular gun, it's very capable of being shot accurately. You'd be able to pull those groups in quite nicely. So if you're looking for a high-end revolver, the Kimber definitely does it. If you're looking for almost the equivalent of a factory-tuned gun with a really smooth trigger, the Kimber does it. And if you're looking for a couple different variations, they'll say I want to be able to thumb the hammer back and do SA, they've got an option for that. They've got an option with a laser grip, so there's a Crimson Trace laser built into the grip right here. So you have a couple different variations of this. They're new on the market. Kimber, coming out with a revolver kind of surprised everybody, but they did it right. Their entry into the revolver market is actually a very well done revolver. So thanks again to Guns Galore for letting us have this gun for a little while to show it to you guys, and also look forward to our comparison between this, the SP-101, and the Cobra. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell if you do. Check us out on Facebook and Patreon, and have a great day. Thank you.